Hello everybody, welcome back to our Monday teachings. And my name is Lydia Tetolet. I work for a company called Precise Protect, and Precise Protect, we're governed and regulated by FCA. So today is our seventh topic. The first one, we spoke about trust funds and wills, and I said if you have a policy and is not in trust, get in touch with me, because that's very, very important that your policy must be in trust. And I say it's like a must. And second, also, we spoke about 40% inheritance tax for people who have estates, or people who have mortgages. You know that if your mortgage or your estate is more than 325,000, which is the threshold, then you'll need to know how you'll deal with the 40% inheritance tax. We also spoke, our number 3 was different types of insurance. So we spoke about insurance and assurance, because those two are different. There's insurance and assurance. So we spoke about the difference between the two. And we also spoke on number 4 was the difference between terminal illness and critical illness, because these two as well are totally different products, and people normally confuse them. So there's terminal and critical. And then we also spoke, our 5th video was about, can anybody be insured? Can everyone be insured? Yes, they can. So don't write yourself off and say, oh, I have medical, so I cannot be insured. Please get in touch with me again, or get in touch with the office. And then we also spoke about income protection last week. And with income protection, you can be protected. Your income can be protected from 60 up to 70% of your annual income, and depending with the provider that you go for. And income protection protects your annual income. It protects it from sickness, injury, or an accident. But if you're fired or you're made redundant, it doesn't cover you. And then today we're going to talk about private medical. Now, with private medical, I actually wanted to leave it for later, but I normally use my clients as a point of reference, but of course no names mentioned, and my clients are okay for me to use them as references, but of course no mentioning their names. So I have a client of mine who has a child, and the child is undergoing through a lot of medical issues, and as we speak now, she cannot afford medical because of finances. She's struggling financially. So she went to private hospital, and the money they quoted for her was so much. But if she was covered, if she had private medical prior to that, then there won't be a problem. She'll just go in a private medical, and her daughter will be seen. It's so bad that her daughter is not even going to school right now. So she said, Lydia, I want you to talk about this thing and tell people out there that don't know, that in a position that I was in. She didn't know that it was private medical. So she was like, Lydia, how was I supposed to know? So that's why I'm doing these videos, just to create awareness that there is something called private medical cover. Yes, I know there's NHS, especially people that are living in the UK. And NHS, they try their level best, but they are overwhelmed by so much that right now the waiting list is the longest we've ever had in NHS. The waiting list is so long. And that's why my friend is going through what she's going through. And not even that, my own boss, and I'll call his name because he does talks to people about this, so he's okay for his name being mentioned. His name is Andy, and he's my regional director. He has cancer, and he's okay for us to talk about his cancer. So now, what happened with my boss, the reason why I'm quoting him here as a reference, when he went to the hospital, first he went to NHS, because what happens if you have private, especially people who drive, you know that if you claim next year, your premiums will go higher. So it's the same with private medical. If you claim this year, next year your premiums will go higher. So to avoid that, sometimes you go to NHS first and see, can I be treated? Oh, are they putting me in a waiting list? I don't want to be in a waiting list. I'll go private. So my boss went, and this is last year. Was it last year? Yeah, this is early last year. He went to NHS. They gave him 6 months waiting list. 6 months. They put him on a waiting list for 6 months. He was like, no way. So he went private. When he went for private, they gave him an appointment the next week. He went to the appointment, and guess what? They found out that he had cancer. So if he didn't have private, 2 things he could have done, which I know a lot of us will do if we're in that position. You either wait for the 6 months, and 6 months, trust me, just 1 week can make a big difference in your life if you have something wrong with you. 1 week. So imagine now waiting for 6 months. So if this was somebody who doesn't have private, what you'll do is either wait for the 6 months, or go private and pay for private. And that would be so expensive just to go to see a consultant to pay private. It's normally so expensive. But if you are paying for your private medical prior to that, it's totally free. Totally free to go and see a consultant. And that's what happened to my boss. He went and it was free. And now, by the time he was that 6 months the NHS gave him, he was halfway through his treatment. And up to now, he's still in the treatment. Now, he has spent more than £60,000. More than £60,000 the last time we spoke. And this is a few months ago when he told me this. £60,000 on treatment, on his cancer treatment, on the cancer treatment, rather than his cancer, the cancer treatment. 60K he's spent already. Where would he have gotten this money if he was to go private? No way. He couldn't have. There's no way he could have afforded this money. But he pays every month for his premiums for private. And that's why he's able to do this. So one thing I'll tell you is, if you're paying for your private, let's just say your private medical is £200 a month, because it is expensive. I'm not going to lie to you here and say, oh, it's a price of coffee. No, it's not. Life insurance is the price of coffee. Critical illness, 3 times price of coffee. Private medical is expensive. So I won't lie to you. So let's just say we work with £200, because I know a lot of people are paying from 100, from 60. Let me say my last client is paying 65. From £65, let's just say 65. My cheapest client is £65 to 350. Okay, depending with what you want, depending with your postcode, and depending with how many people are under your policy. So private medical is not about if you have medical issues. That's not what determines how much you're gonna pay. Your postcode is bad, because I live in London. Mine is so bad. If you were to give somebody the same thing that they're living, their postcode is in London, and the same policy, you give it to someone in Manchester, the person in Manchester will be paying half price. The person in London will be paying so much. So insurance, private insurance is expensive. I won't lie to you, but is it worth it? A trillion % it's worth it to have it. Now, I'll tell you why it's worth it. If you're paying £200 every month, within a year, you'll have paid 2,400, okay, pounds. 2,400 pounds within a year. Now, if you don't have private and you go for, if you don't have private medical cover and you've gone for an operation and you've gone for something, it will cost you 2,000, like let's say cataracts, or the operation that I had in my eye. Let me just use that because that's something I'm sure about. It's 2,999 just to do your cataracts operation or to do your eye operation. 2,999. That is just the surgery. No, is no consultation fees not there. It's just 3,000. Let's just say £3,000. That's one surgery. But if you're paying for your insurance for £200, it's 2,400 per year. That means you still saved almost £600, and this 2,400 is for anything, for your children, for yourself. If you want to do how many surgeries, it's part of that. So paying for private medical, it's a trillion % worth it. As I was talking about, is it worth it? Yes, it is. Now, you've gone to see a doctor, or you've touched your breast and there's a lump in your breast, or there's a lump somewhere, or you feel in yourself that, oh my God, something is totally wrong with me, or even your children, and you've gone to the doctor and the doctor say, you can be seen tomorrow, or you can go to the waiting list, NHS waiting list. Now, according to your prognosis, NHS can say your wait, because they will think it's not serious. They will say wait for 3 months, 6 months, 4 months, but you know how you feel. Or the doctor tells you, you can see a consultant tomorrow. Which one would you choose? To see a consultant tomorrow, or to wait in a NHS waiting list that you don't even know how long you'll be there for? So guys, private medical, I know NHS is free, but the waiting list on NHS, and right now I'm talking to you, a lot of our clients are from medical ground. They are from medical field. Do they know something that we don't? Every time a client calls me, I'm like, what's your occupation? I'm a nurse. Oh, I'm a doctor. I work at the pharmacy. And I'm thinking, what do you guys know that we don't? You work with NHS, so you should know better than us. But there are so many from medical fields who are having private medical because they know how NHS is going. They know the way over NHS is overwhelmed right now. So guys, what I can say in regards to private medical, it is very important to have private medical. Can I afford it? If you juggle your outgoings, yes, I think you can. Well, I don't know how much you get, but it's something to think about, especially if you have children. I have one client who he had something wrong with his disc. There was something that I've never even had. You know, there's so many things that we've never had. When he went for private, they charged him 11,000 and he paid for that. But he had to people had to help him get that because 11,000 is no small money. And he had to do that. He had to do Harambe for 11,000 pounds and he had a surgery. If this person was paying insurance prior, that 11,000, that surgery would have been free. So guys, it's time to just think, because these things happen. Life happens. I know somebody can say that will never happen to me. Trust me, life happens to all of us at any given time. Nobody is immune to this life. So guys, today we talk about private medical. I just say, guys, think about private medical. Go and do your research. And if you want to know more about private medical, please call me. My number is right there, or you can call my company, or you can send me an email.